Hi friends, it's been a while since I've uploaded anything on this channel. I thought I would just take a little break, kind of chat here, pretend that you guys are my friends and have a conversation about art the way that I would with my artist friends. Yeah, I think since I was pretty young, I've always dreamed of becoming an artist. And I have this kind of insatiable desire and dream and hopes of I want to live my life as an artist. And yet, I think for some reason, I've always also struggled with that idea. I think that I don't maybe fully see myself as an artist for some reason. It could be because I don't create art full time. It could also be that I feel like the amount of work that I produce is not sufficient and it's not enough for me to call myself an artist. It could also be that I didn't go to art school, and I think that could also be a part of it. Like, when I introduce myself to other people, how do I describe myself? And I guess labels don't really matter. And I think I also feel self-conscious about even using the word art or artist. I feel like there's something kind of like pretentious about the term. I think the art itself, real art itself, is not pretentious. In fact, it's, I think, extremely vulnerable, raw, down to earth, and something very real. But I think maybe there's a bit of contrast when it comes to the art world or the way that the word gets communicated in our society today. So when I meet somebody, like, I don't tell people I'm an artist, even though I have this like intense desire to be an artist and to live my life as an artist. And I feel like I've come a long way at this point because I am in a creative role. However, I do think that I am not where I want to be, if I'm being completely honest, just in terms of the amount of time that I can have to spend on, to think about, and to work on the creative pursuits. And I think that's a realization that is important for me to be aware of. And yesterday I had a day where I did feel really like I was in the flow, and I feel like art is almost a state of mind. It's like this ability to open your third eye and see the truth, see the world as is, and being able to make all the connections and all the insights. And to be in that state is such a fulfilling, powerful emotion. And I remember feeling, wow, I'm so happy today. I'm so fulfilled. And I think one thing that I've noticed that really takes me away from that space is really the internet. I think that my mind really wanders, and I actually currently have all of my internet cut off from this apartment as I record this video. What I did was I paused all my internet connections on my phone. I use Eero for all the Wi-Fi connections, and I paused it on all my devices, and then I put my phone away in a lockbox. And so until the time is up, actually the time just kind of went up already, but I haven't touched it. But basically, until the time runs out, I am physically unable to have access to the internet. And I do feel very liberated. I do feel very free and just like a sense of relief having no access to the internet. Even though someone might say, wow, you're just completely cut off from the world. You're disconnected from the world. But I think this kind of disconnection was really necessary for me to be able to connect with myself and my inner world. So I feel like I found a tremendously important um, thing that will really help me with my creative pursuits and my projects. And I feel like the fact that I'm recording this video, maybe this wouldn't have happened if I had the internet. I also have ADHD, and my mind is gets distracted extremely easily. I'll always be looking up things, just browsing on, YouTube, Instagram, just the whole stuff. And I feel like, kind of feel bad, like how many artists' lives have been negatively affected by the internet. How many creative projects never came to fruition because of how distracted we are as a society, as an artist. And I do think that the art god um, has a way of transferring projects to other people who can then make it come to life. So I'm sure those projects didn't get wasted. However, it is sad that, just to think that I'm sure I'm not the only person who struggles with this block. I do think that I struggle with an artist block, writer's block, whatever it is. The whole subject of Julia Cameron's book Artist's Way, just like I want to create, I want to live as an artist, but all these voices and all these fears and anxieties and blocks, physical blocks, emotional blocks, spiritual blocks, financial blocks, all of those things just coming together and just like stopping you from being on the path that you are meant to be on. I know for a fact that I am not alone feeling the block, and I do think that I've struggled with this for a very long time. And like, I don't want to define my existence, in terms of this, but I do feel like whenever I feel for the block in my emotions, it feels familiar because I've struggled with it for a while. And there were definitely times where I used to think that, oh, I feel like when I was more isolated and depressed, I was able to create a lot more freely. The times that I felt like I was really in the creative flow, things were just coming out like left and right. I had no struggle with creativity. And like I used to think like, oh, I have to go back to being really depressed. I have to be like, in that negative kind of emotional state. I have to be really sad so I can create, which is actually like, I think, not true. But it also became the basis for one of the pins that I made, which is called Sad Juices, with like creative juices flowing versus like, my sadness kind of fueling that. But I don't think that I have to be sad or depressed in order to create good art. That's just not true. I think that's actually a block that some people experience, and some people, it's not a true statement, but a lot of people, I think, including myself, believe that. But I think right now, even though I don't believe that anymore, I do think that the internet has been like a really big obstacle that just keeps me from really digging into my inner world and to find those gems. It's like, so the metaphor that I came up with yesterday was, I feel like internet is like this greasy stuff that I have on my hands, and it's like really oily. It's like very difficult to like grab things, and then art is like this shovel that I hold, right? And then I'm trying to use art to really grab and like dig really deep into my inner world, which is like made of like soil. And once I'm like really digging deep and deep and deep, I can find all these gems like diamonds and all these beautiful things that are like that I see as truth, pieces of truth that we're trying to dig out from the dirt that are kind of buried deep within us. And I feel like the internet is like this grease that prevents me from holding my shovel, if that makes sense. It's kind of a weird metaphor visually, but this just made a lot of sense to me. And I think that by consciously blocking the internet and kind of pausing the internet, just getting rid of that from my space right now is exactly what I needed. I mean, the fact that I'm recording this video and uploading it on my channel, which I haven't touched in a while, I think is like a testament to, okay, I have to do this a lot more often. I have to pause internet access and literally physically remove my phone from my, from my space, so I can have the space and the energy to really connect with myself and to create. Because I do think that that is the reason that I am alive still. Like there were definitely times where, I experienced like a car accident a couple years ago, and I really do feel that this is really the my life's purpose. And I don't want people to think that I'm being, pretentious or anything like that. And art is, as I said, not a pretentious thing. I just really love it. I feel really committed to it, and I want this more than anything else. And I think that I am finally also realizing that one of the reasons that I feel such a block in my creative journey is because maybe I want other things as well. In addition to the joy that I get out of creating something, I think I also want money, and I think I want recognition. I want fame, maybe. I don't know. Like, I must want all these other things, because then when I want like 5 different things all at once, kind of like the I think it's 6 of Cups, 7 of Cups, kind of a tarot card energy. I think when I want all these things at once, sometimes they just don't go together, and I might be able to, make my art, create things, put things out in the world, and then they go big. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. But that shouldn't be my end goal. Money should not be my end goal, because if that is my end goal, then art is definitely not a field that I would recommend for myself to go into. So that's not really it. But I think just the way that I was brought up, and maybe some of the values that I have, I do seem to want all these extra things. I mean, who doesn't want financial stability? Who doesn't want, I don't know, to be recognized, to get awards? Those are all great things. However, the real reason that I am so deeply committed to art, and the reason that I feel like I'm alive whenever I'm creating those things, is not because of the money or the fame or recognition or really anything. It's the feeling. And I think anyone who's ever created anything, which is basically everyone in the world, knows like just this really close access to the truth. Like, you found a truth, right? And you're portraying it on paper, on film, through your dance, your movement, whatever, right? You're expressing the truth. And I think I am a truth seeker. And nothing gives me more joy than to be able to use art to discover those truth and express it and share it with the people. So I think that I do want to continue this. I don't want to give up on this. I think that I've struggled with like this creative block, artist block, for a very long time at this point, but I still haven't given up, and I think that's a good thing. And it is a really painful feeling. I know for sure that I'm not alone in this, but I do wish that I do really hope that I can have that grace, that flow, that I can access a lot more freely. And if it doesn't happen, that's also okay. I think all I have to do is to show up and just put my butt in the chair and work. Really, I think I've also been reading this book. I read this already, but I've been reading it again recently. How to Be an Artist by Jerry Saltz. And I think one of the rules that I really enjoy from this book is Rule 11, which says, Rule 11 says, work, work, work. The only rule is work. If you work, it'll lead to something. It's the people who do all of the work all the time who eventually catch on to things. It's a fear of failure, and there's only one method that works, which is to just work and to keep working. So I think I have to just create. I think, even though I don't have adequate words to describe exactly what my art is, what it looks like, what medium it is, whatever it is, I know it's there. And to me, it's not really something physical. I think to me, art is a way of seeing. I think it's a state of mind. And I think it is okay that I don't know exactly what medium that I have to stick to in order to express that and share that with the world. For example, I love music, I do singing, I love piano, I love making sounds, but I also do writing and I also do design. And I think that I've sort of been kind of torturing myself thinking that I have to choose one and go with it. And that's not true. That's also something else that's in this book, is that don't limit yourself to one medium. So get to work, cut off the internet if you think that'll be helpful for you, because I think it has been helpful for me. I'm really happy that I'm creating this video, and kind of treat it as like a job. If you have a full-time job and you want to be an artist, well, first of all, you already are an artist. Everyone is an artist, and I don't think that we should be afraid of using that label, artist, to describe ourselves, because I think that fear, like, oh my god, you're not an artist, you're just a piece of shit, or you're not an artist, your art sucks, or you're not an artist, you are you have another job. Those are all bullshit, right? That's all bullshit. I'm an artist. So are you. If you're watching this, I think there is a pretty high likelihood that you are also an artist who wants to feel more connected to your art and more fulfilled as an artist. So just know that you are already an artist. I want your insights. I want your works. I want your wisdom. I want your truth, your radical vulnerability. I think it deserves to be celebrated, deserves to be shared with the world. Yeah, so I'm going to keep creating and not be afraid to share it with the world. I want to be better at just putting my time and energy into this endeavor, and just go from there. The way knows the way. I don't know the way forward. I don't know what the path looks like, but I know that as long as I put in the work and show up as myself, ready to embrace the mystical, unknown, the road less traveled, things will make sense. The net will appear eventually. So I hope this was helpful. It was helpful for me. I think I created this video for myself, so let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, or if you didn't enjoy this video, let me know as well. And I will talk to you guys again in the future. Bye.